the master of your reality. There exists a fundamental, often overlooked creative force within you. It is not a power reserved for the special or the chosen. It is the very engine of your experience. Your outer world, your circumstances, your relationships, your successes and failures is not a series of random events. It is a projection, a physical manifestation of your inner world of thought and feeling. To change the projection, you must change the source. This is the great secret. Your reality is an echo of your state of consciousness. Most people live their lives as victims of circumstance, believing that external events cause their internal feelings. They are happy because something good happened. They are sad because of a loss. This is living life backwards. The true creative process works in the opposite direction. The internal feeling, consistently held and believed, precedes and generates the external event. Your consciousness is the architect, and your world is the building. You cannot live in a castle if you persist in designing a hut in your mind. To understand this creative process, you must recognize the two aspects of your own mind: the conscious and the subconscious. It is the difference between wanting to be confident and feeling confident in your bones. It is the difference between hoping for financial abundance and feeling the natural ease and security of one who is already abundant. This feeling is not one of frantic excitement or anxious anticipation. It is a state of rest, of naturalness, of knowing. It is the quiet satisfaction you feel when a desire is no longer a desire because it is, in your imagination, a present fact. How, then, do you plant this feeling of fulfillment into the receptive soil of the subconscious? The most effective method is a focused session of mental rehearsal, preferably in a state of deep relaxation, such as the drowsy, sleepy state just before you fall asleep. In this state, the critical, doubting, conscious mind is subdued, and the subconscious is most accessible. Close your eyes and construct a brief scene in your imagination that would imply your wish is already fulfilled. Do not watch yourself from afar, as if watching a movie. Step into the scene, be the protagonist. Use all your senses. If you desire a loving partnership, do not just imagine a wedding. Instead, feel the firmness of a wedding band on your finger. Hear a friend's voice congratulating you, shaking your hand and saying, "I'm so happy for you both." Feel the warmth and love radiating from your heart. If you desire a new home, don't just picture the exterior. Imagine yourself turning the key in the lock, feeling the cool metal. Walk through your new front door and feel the solidity of the floor beneath your feet. Smell the scent of your new home. Keep the scene short and simple, but saturated with sensory detail. The power is not in the complexity of the scene, but in the feeling of reality you generate while within it. The critical moment in this process is the transition from the active construction of the scene to the passive feeling of fulfillment. After you have vividly imagined your scene, you must let the images fade and fall asleep in the feeling that it is done. This is the act of entrusting the seed to the soil. Do not get up from this practice and immediately start worrying about how it will happen. That is like planting a seed and digging it up every hour to see if it has grown. Your job as the conscious mind is to select the state, feel it as real, and then release it in faith to the subconscious. The how is the domain of the subconscious and the infinite intelligence of the universe. It will arrange the people, opportunities, and events necessary to bring your assumption into physical reality. Your only task is to remain loyal to the unseen reality you have created in your imagination. Your mental rehearsal sessions are potent, but their effect can be nullified by your everyday thoughts and feelings. If you spend 10 minutes feeling wealthy in your imagination, but then spend the next 8 hours in a state of anxiety over bills, which feeling do you think your subconscious will accept as true? The dominant repeated feeling wins. Therefore, you must exercise a gentle but firm discipline over your conscious mind throughout the day. This is not about suppressing negative thoughts, but about consciously redirecting them. When you catch yourself feeling or speaking from a state of lack, fear, or limitation, pause, gently remind yourself of your assumed state. Affirm to yourself, "Isn't it wonderful?" implying that something wonderful is unfolding, even if you cannot see it yet. Or simply return for a fleeting moment to the feeling of your fulfilled scene. This constant mental alignment is what nourishes the seed you have planted and prevents contrary thoughts from uprooting it. A common pitfall is the use of force and strain. You cannot make your desire manifest through sheer willpower. The subconscious mind responds to persuasion, not to force. This is the law of reverse effort. The harder you consciously try, the more you reinforce the feeling of not having. Trying to believe through gritted teeth is not belief. It is an act of desperation that shouts of absence. True belief is quiet and natural. If you find yourself straining, it is a sign that you are operating from the conscious mind alone. Return to the sleepy state. Relax. Let go. Imagine lovingly. Feel the fulfillment as a present fact, not a future goal. The feeling of naturalness is the surest sign that you are in alignment with your desire. As you persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the external world will begin to change. However, it will rarely happen in the way you expect. The manifestation will arrive through what can be called a bridge of incidents. This is a series of seemingly unrelated events that logically lead you to your goal. You may desire a new job and assume the feeling of being in that role. The bridge of incidents might involve a chance meeting, a sudden restructuring at your current job, or an unexpected email. Do not become attached to the specific path. Your role is to remain faithful to the end result. The intelligence of your subconscious will orchestrate the journey. When you see the first signs of this bridge being built, a new opportunity, a helpful person, do not become overexcited and fall back into anxiety. Accept it naturally as further confirmation of what you already know to be true. The ultimate goal is to live in the end. This means your mental focus is consistently on the fulfillment of your desire, not on the lack of it. You walk through your day carrying the inner conviction of your assumption. You no longer wait for it to happen, because in your imagination, which is the primary reality, it has happened. Your actions in the physical world will naturally begin to align with this inner state. You will not be acting from a place of neediness, but from a place of ownership. If you have assumed the feeling of being a generous person, you will find opportunities to give, not as a struggle, but as a natural expression of who you are. Your outer behavior becomes a reflection of your inner truth, not an attempt to create it. This principle is universal and impersonal. It is as applicable to healing the body as it is to attracting wealth or improving relationships. A physical condition is an effect of a deeply held subconscious assumption. By changing the assumption, by feeling and falling asleep in the feeling of perfect health, of vitality, of strength, you instruct the subconscious, which controls all involuntary functions, to reorganize the body according to this new blueprint. The same is true for world affairs. The collective reality is simply the total of the states assumed by individuals. To change the world, you must first change yourself. As you embody the states of peace, love, and abundance, you contribute those frequencies to the whole of humanity. You are not a passive spectator in this universe. You are an active creator. The secret has always been within you, in the very core of your being, in your capacity to feel. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, persist in it, and watch as your world magically rearranges itself to reflect your inner truth.